Okay, good evening, everybody. Much earlier evening than I'm accustomed to for streaming, and on a day that I don't normally stream, but that is the nature of the time we are in. I have a feeling that the volume for the game might be a little loud for me, so I'm just going to go into the settings. I'll do normal difficulty. And we'll just take things down a touch. If it's if I overcorrected, please let me know. But we should be good. I'm just gonna take a second here and make sure all the Twitch settings are where they need to be. Now, normally I kind of like to try and do a bit of a lead-in to sort of take the pulse of where everything's going. But I don't have a lot of time to cast tonight. So I'm going to... I don't have like a firm thing that I need to do, but I am behind on a lot of personal projects that I would like to do. And if I get my act together in a somewhat, speedy time, I'm going to... I'm basically just going to be able to do a couple of other things than what I'd planned. So those are time sensitive, but not the end of the world. So, what I am going to do, though, is tell you guys why I am doing this. Obviously, the Steam sale's going on right now, and Steam sales don't quite have the same allure they once did. And especially, obviously I'm affiliated with GOG, so I tend to get stuff through GOG where I can and whatnot. But what I have noticed is while I may not be picking up, yet another version of Skyrim or something like that, it is a great opportunity for me to pick up on a few titles which I wasn't able to give enough attention to. And in fact, so I feel slightly bad that I'm buying this. I bought this game on a discount because I remember when there was a call out for streamers for this particular title. And it looked really interesting. And actually, I saw a GDC talk from one of the developers who on Twitter you will know as @GreyAlien. I think there's some credits we can bring up here. So yeah, I might as well have that up while I bring by. But yeah, so I really did want to cover it because it seemed like something I would enjoy. But I was sitting on a stack of things I'd already kind of committed to playing. And I couldn't really in good conscience accept a key when I didn't know when I would be able to cover it, and I didn't know if I'd be able to give it any substantial coverage on its own. Like, it's one thing to say, okay, yeah, I'll play the game like once for 10 minutes and then run off. So, buying the game is I suppose a way that I can I can sort of make up for not being on deck when the call for streamers came. And I was a little sorry to hear that apparently this project wasn't sort of worth the extra time that was put into it. It sounds like the direction for GreyAlien is going to be sort of some smaller projects done a little bit more rapidly, which is exciting because, of course, I like variety, and they're quite good at making games. But it's one of these things which I think it's a bit of a shame that a game so interesting didn't seem to find its audience in a way that some of the other indies that I've enjoyed have managed to. So this is my attempt. All of this is a long way of saying that the Steam sale has been a wonderful opportunity for me to return to some games which were on my radar through either recommendations on on Twitter or just generally people saying, hey, you might want to check this thing out, but things that I never got to. And of course, the advantage of doing it this way is that I get to get a sort of a collection of games. So there's a few fun little indies that I picked up. If you guys are interested, the 3 games that I'm going to be showing you are Shadowhand, Regency Solitaire. Both of these are by GreyAlien. And then the third one is going to be returning to Nowhere Prophet, which is going to be coming out of First Access in a little bit. So let's jump in. I'm just going to do, it's going to be a normal run through the tutorial. As I said in the tweet, I can only really do the most superficial of looks at these kinds of games, but I hope to at least give you a bit of a glimpse in terms of why I think these things are worth checking out. The price is certainly right for them, and with any luck, I'll maybe convince a few of you to check it out, or maybe get it as a gift for somebody who you think would enjoy something like this. So, let's begin.
40 years ago, when I was a young woman, I lived in a wild, lawless corner of England, far removed from London. Highwaymen and footpads robbed travellers with impunity. Smugglers plied their trade in contraband from France. And corruption festered behind a thin veneer of respectability. I lived as the Lady of Darkmoor Hall, with my dear companion Mariah. One night, we set out in secret for a potentially scandalous assignation. But disaster struck. A highwayman pounced and murdered our coachman. Desperate, I struggled free from the wreckage. Mariah was gone. Fearing recognition, I disguised myself with some of the coachman's clothes and gave chase. And so began my nocturnal adventures as the highwaywoman, Shadowhand.
Right, Chapter 1, Fleetwood's Lane, in which Lady Cornelia Darkmoor finds herself alone in the woods. Damn that highwayman. I've lost my carriage and my friend. What else will befall me this ill-fated night? Halt! Who goes there? I am a gentlewoman in trouble, sir. Pray identify yourself. I must know with whom I speak before I bring you into my confidence. Madam, my name is Lord Fleetwood. I own these woods and other lands hereabouts. I assure you that I will assist you in any manner that you desire. Your coach is in a sorry state. What is your requirement? A clean cloak? A fresh carriage? Lord Fleetwood, I thank you most sincerely. I am Lady Cordelia Darkmoor. I need neither cloak nor carriage, but I would have your pistol. My companion and I were ambushed. Now she is gone. I fear for her safety. I must find her. I must impose on you to keep our meeting here a secret. This situation is delicate. Very well. I see from your determination that we should take one pistol apiece and scour the woods for your friend. I am in your debt. Now I must take my leave. There is no time to lose. My missing companion is named Mariah. She has ebony hair and a blue gown. I am glad to be of service, Lady Cornelia. I will do what I can to help. Farewell. Alright, so we've got our first item. Ranged weapon, shoot for 5 base damage. Generations of Fleetwood's family have used this reliable pistol to win duels. And I've already equipped the pistol, it turns out, so... Try to remove as many cards as possible. So the game does give you a tutorial, which we're going to be going through. I'm going to try and play the game past the tutorial point so you can sort of see a regular one. But the tutorial's fairly intuitive. I will say I will probably give the impression that there's a little bit less gameplay in this than there really is, because I tend to notice I have this twitch to always get the 3-star rating, and I'm not always good at getting it the first time. So I definitely have a tendency to do particular missions more than once. All right, click on a card 1 number higher or lower than the card at the bottom of the screen. So we've got a 2, which means we take the 3. And then of course now we can go for one of the 2 4s. I'm gonna go for this one because it will uncover this card here. We'll grab number 5, and it looks like we don't have any... Oh, sorry, we can go back to 4, that's right. So, draw a stock card. There are no more playable cards, so you need to draw a new card from the stockpile. 0 can go on a 9, and vice versa. And got 8, 7, 6... You started a combo by playing 6 cards in a row. Combos boost your gold multiplier, so keep them going for more gold. Click the end combo when you need to draw a new card from the stockpile. And we don't have any 3s, so we'll end the combo. We've got 1 though, so I have to go 3, 2, and we've got 6, so we just keep drawing until we find. There's a couple of other mechanics that will come up, but coming up next, the chapter boss. Curse my bravado. I should have kept Fleetwood at my side. The woods are teeming with poachers and footpads. There's someone about to rob me, I know it. Alright, so we've found the Rouge, a rogue. Defeat the enemy with your pistol. Charge your pistol by removing cards.
Jewel.
So it's not just simply solitaire in isolation. The idea here is that, so you do want to get items, but there's a couple things. So number one, the first thing that you want to do is to try and remove as many cards to charge up your pistol. But of course, the opponent is going to need charges as well. So the alternative is one tension which maybe isn't immediately apparent inside the game is the fact that you don't necessarily want to leave a table with lots of possibilities open for your opponent. So there is a little bit of a decision to make, you know, do I want to reveal more cards or do I want to try and keep things blocked? I haven't quite found a good way of handling that yet, but right now, so one thing I can sort of say is that if I go for 4, then I get 2 potential cards, and of course if I get 5, I'm happy. But I think there are more possibilities for me. So if I wind up with like a 7, so what I'm sort of looking at here, I uncover this, and if there's a 5 underneath, I'll be happy. If I take either one of these, and there winds up being a 5, then I'm doubly happy because, of course, I'm going to be able to remove another card. So in this case, I'm going to go for one of the 6s. And turns out I was unlucky, so we'll end the turn. And I paid dearly for that. Okay, well, there's 6, so we can take the 7, and there's the 6. So it wouldn't have given us what we wanted either way. I don't think I have any other options, so... Okay. So I think I only have the 4 available to me, so in this case I'll unlock more cards. Okay, that's good news for me here, so I should be able to... I'm not going to... so it says your pistol's charged, click to fire. I believe this will end my turn, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some cards off the board, so... I can go for a 3. So there I can do 2, 1, 2, and I can't get back to the 4, but I still think this is the right way to go. So... Okay. So the question is, do I want to grit this 3, or do I want to reveal more cards with 1? I think I'm going to try and reveal more stuff. You've started an attack bonus. Critical hit by playing 6 cards in a row. Try to keep going to build up an even bigger attack bonus. Well, I've got a 0, so that'll give me access to the 9, or alternatively the 1. Well, the 9 will give me access to the 8, so... Okay. So... And of course, there's no 5 for me to work with, so we will... take our shot. Alright, well that's a 9, so we already know we can't work with that. Okay, nothing else I can do with that. I have no luck at all. If I lose in the tutorial, I'm going to be very ashamed of myself. Alright, so... in this case, I can do 3, 2, 1, 0, or I can do 3, 4... okay, well, it's clearly a better way, so... okay. So like here I can do 9, 8, 9, 8, 7, okay. The 8-7 is still the better path. Yeah, for unsurprisingly, that was not an admirable performance by the standards of the game. I tried to be a little thoughtful there. I appreciate I'm not able to commentate as much about the plan, but after completing the mission, we got some gold as well as a new weapon, which we'll be able to equip in a minute. Yeah, and the game's more or less explaining all of this as it goes along, so it's like you got an item, you can equip it. And let's go to Robber's Ruin, which is still technically a tutorial. Stand and deliver, you filthy fat carbuncle. Hand over your finery and legal scribbles to the legendary Rich Turnpike. Enough insults, you scoundrel. Take them. And remember what we agreed. Pass on the documents most urgently. Yes, Your Honor. Now run, as fast as those stumpy limbs will allow. Let it be known among all wealthy souls that their goods are in jeopardy on this, my own fair highway. Enough, your insults and poetics are equally offensive. I gladly take my leave. Damn the old coot. Very poor subject for a robbery, even a staged one. And all for the sake of a few scraps of paper that I can't even read. That looks like a fine horse. Maybe I could borrow it and reimburse the owner later. Am I turning thief? Perhaps I am, but I need something to ride, damn it. Right, so we've got a charging stallion, removes 2 random playable cards from the playfield. The hooves of a charging stallion destroy everything beneath them. Achieve a combo of 5 and defeat the chapter boss. So we don't have to do this in just this one round because we're on part 1 of 2. But this is one of the neat things. So I think this was really where the game charmed me. So you have, you know, very basic sort of solitaire kind of mechanic, right? And the way that the game works is that you'll get these buffs. So where, I mean, obviously when we think about card games, we sort of think of the Magic model where you have some very basic rules for a game, and then the majority of the rules of the game are actually printed on the cards themselves. This takes more of a solitaire structure, but what they do is different cards will do particular actions. So for Charging Stallion, I can remove 2 cards. Now the question is this a good move right now? Well, I do have a few things available to me, right? So I can go for either, like one of the things I might consider is, well, if I go for 6, if I unlock a 5, then I go down to a 4, and so on and so forth. Like, it would be sort of nice, it'd be nice if I had a way of clearing out this card to be able to get access to that other 4. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to use this special card. We'll use it to unlock here. So that didn't really help us too much. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the 6. Okay, so we at least get the 7 and I can potentially unlock the 8. Or I can go back to 6 again. 6 will unlock more cards for me, and I don't have an opponent, so in this case I'm going to go... Okay, that paid off, so... And I don't believe we have any 7s on the table. So what I would normally do is say, it's like, okay, well, it looks like I'm going to end my run here, but I am on a little bit of a streak, so what the card will give me is I can say, well, let's blast out 2. What do you know? So we've got 7. I think I'm going to go... I already know what's behind here, and that 4 is not going to help me, so we'll do 8, 7, 6, and then that should be everything that we can do. So we'll end the combo. And as you can see here, the horse was able to extend my combo out by a few cards just because I was a little more cautious in terms of its use. Now what'll happen here, you'll notice that it has a charge just like the pistol, and so I'm going to need to sort of play the game and get my combos rolling to be able to get the stallion again. So let's think about what we want to do. So I could do a 2, 3, 4, 3 or something like that, but I think that's probably the right call. So 2, 3, okay. Drat. Oh well, we got another combo, so. Alright. Hello, the Eyes of Sin. How are you doing? Alright. So the 2 won't help me by uncovering this one, so I'll unlock the 4. Joker. Click the special card to pick it up. You found a Joker. This Joker is wild. You can play it at any time and any place, and place any card on top of it. So let's think about whether or not that really profits me right now. I'm not on that wild of a run, but the question would be, am I able to do anything else with it? At first glance, I thought I was playing Hand of Fate. No. This is a game called Shadow Hand. It's a rather charming solitaire game. I'm doing my best to try and talk about the mechanics behind it, but what I'll probably do is I'll save it for the very end in terms of why I think this is worthy of people's attention. So if I play this now, I can do something like, you know, so I can play like 0 after it, 1, 0. That'll give me access to 2 more cards, but those 2 more cards would basically need to be, or they wouldn't even have to be a 1 and a 2. I don't think there's a huge benefit to me throwing this thing down right now, so even less now that I know it's following that. So the other thing is I'm not sure there's really any benefit to me doing this either, because there's no way I can go from a 4, 3, or a 2. So I think I'm probably just going to wind up saving this thing. So basically I need a 5 or a 3. And you can sort of see the reason why I'm not blowing this Joker here, because I think I'm just going to have to grind through the last 3. I'm sure I could have planned that a little bit better, but I've never run out of cards before. Oh, denied. All right, let's retry that then. Now I feel I never lost until I played this on stream. Now I'm super self-conscious. All right. So I'm still not going to use the Charging Stallion right away, but let's take the key. And yeah, not a whole lot else. There's no zeros or anything like that, so. Okay, so. Definitely want to go for the 3. This will unlock 2 for me. Problem is there might be something tasty underneath that one. Ooh, paid off. Okay. So now the real question is, do I want to try and continue on this streak? I could do Joker, 4, 5, and unlock 2 cards. I could do Joker 109, 08, and unlock. Yeah, okay. Well, I was rewarded with a 7 as well. What a shame we didn't get a 6. Hello, Ego Akin, and how you doing, Paint Bucket? The whole point of this one is to share some interesting indies that are available. So I'm going to be doing 2 games by Grey Alien Games. This is Shadowhand, one of them. This is currently on sale at 50% off if you get this game on its own, but there's actually a bundle with this in. So I don't want to tell you guys the price yet. I want to try and convince you that this thing is worth it. And then I can tell you the excellent price at which you can pick it up. You know what? I might as well. I don't know what else I'm going to use the Charging Stallion for. So, hey, it paid off. So we'll take 6, 5, 4. Oh, what a shame we couldn't get. Oh, wait, but we can go back up to 5. That's right. Okay. Back to 6, eh? I have a feeling I'm going to wind up grinding again. I think in this case I'm just going to take cards off the board so I can get the 2, 3 for sure. Oh, god damn it. What did I do wrong? Oh yeah, I have a 2, sorry. So it does give you an undo button, and you'll notice it tells you when you're being a moron, so. Okay. So one of the things I like the most about this game is that obviously, like, as far as solitaire mechanics are concerned, to be able to say, you know, 1 higher, 1 lower is really straightforward. But what charms me the most about this is that there's so much that they do with it. And especially when it comes down to combat, which you'll see in a minute, it turns out that it's a really diverse little formula. Well, Paint Bucket, I mean, it may not be something that speaks to you, but there are a couple things about this format that I think really works, and you'll see there's more than one game that Grey Alien has done which sort of uses a very similar idea. So I think it's one that, in my opinion, is worth a look. So, you have my horse. Give her back and I'll spare your life. Rich Turnpike at your service. Land pirate of distinction. Highwayman extraordinaire. Well, I've never heard of you. I plan to keep the horse in retribution for wrecking my coach and killing my coachman. Coach was yours? I'll fight you for the horse then, if you dare. Defend yourself. Alright. This enemy has some defense, which means that your weapons won't deal as much damage.
Jewel.
So notice my Charging Stallion has the charges go over over the different segments of the chapter. So in this case I've got 2, so we'll do... so I can either go for the 4 and unlock a card. I can actually unlock 2 cards. So I'm going to risk it here for the simple reason that if one of these is hiding the key, then I get something extra. So 4, 5. The Gambit did not pay off. So again, I can use the knife, but I don't want to yet. Okay, that's going to be troublesome for me if he can play it. Oh. No, I do not. 3, okay. So I can do 0, 1, and end, or I can do 0... Oh yeah, I have to pick one or the other. Alright, well, we'll do 0, 1 because it'll give me access to more cards. It's not worth it. All right. In this case, we will use Fleetwood's pistol because it has the higher damage. All right. Well, we've got 6 and 7 at least. Okay, that actually will pay off rather handsomely. So we'll unlock 4 cards doing this. I haven't quite worked out yet if it's good to make a bunch of cards available all at once. But we know we're going to be using this knife, so we'll see. That was not the right call, it turns out, but it did unlock my higher damage weapon again, so we'll knock out one of those. Alright, we got a 4, so I can do... Both of these are just going to get me coin, so... Oh, I'm really bad at that. So it was good for gold, and that was about it. Not much else we can do with that. So. But I do win next turn, so... Yeah. So if you're wondering where the stars come from, it will tell you you need to win within a certain number of turns. So, damn your eyes, you win this time. Keep the nag then. So, if I was 1 turn earlier, I would have got the 2. But obviously, when I played privately, I kept redoing these things until I got 3 stars each. If anything looks like something you play when you're bored, you definitely get unbored when you play this game, Melee Mage, and welcome. Alright, so we got the Flashy Blunderbuss, shoots 6 for base damage, and 20% chance to stun. This imposing hold-up accessory is often inaccurate, but occasionally deadly. A Jaunty Tricorn, basic head protection. My hat, it has 3 corners. 3 corners has my hat. If it did not have 3 corners, it would not be my hat. And 50 gold. Where's the young woman from the coach? Tell me. That spirited child slipped right away. It seems she had her own plan. I suppose I'll have to believe you for now. What is that in your coat pocket? Naught but a few scraps of worthless paper. You wouldn't be interested. I'll take them anyway. Now I must go. Thanks for the ride, Turnpike. Ah, I look good on that horse. Choose which character attributes you'd like to boost. So this is, again, where I'm talking about the game being able to charm me. What's neat here is, so you're leveling up your character, and in this case, so charges active abilities faster. If you put up a bonus, it's 3% insight. Start hand with cards face up. So the idea here is that I can come up with a better plan at the start of the match. Of course, that potentially also assists my opponent, but I'll find more jokers and spare cards. Finesse, cheat, draw better stock cards. Prosperity, double gold under cards, and luck. Remove an extra playable card. In this case, I think I'm going to do insight and prosperity. And dual pistols, because that just looks cool. And naturally, we'll put on a fancy tricorn. Alright, so I'll end on chapter 3 just because I do want to get to the other 2 games, in which Shadow Huan gains her name and Mercy intervenes. Come into the firelight, sister. It is safe here. The vagabonds fear me. Why? Who are you? Thieves know that I can sometimes see their future, usually a vision of a hangman's noose. I am the fortune teller known as Mercy. Maybe you can help me. I seek my lost companion, Mariah. Our evening has taken a terrible turn. First, you must be honest with me. I can sense that's not your horse. Why did you steal it? And what else did you take? I hesitated to steal, but when I saw the horse belonged to the highwayman who robbed us, I decided to claim it. Other than that, he had only a few old papers. Aha! That must have been Rich Turnpike. Read me those documents you stole. Let's see if he is embroiled in some unscrupulous plot. This letter says, Dear P, I'll help you turn your dirty money into goods we can all enjoy. And here's another. Land the rum and hide the tea and tobacco as we arranged. Speak of it, and I'll sign your death warrant. It appears that there is a ring of powerful crooks at work. I'm certain you are destined to put a stop to it. If you agree to investigate, then I will help you find your friend. If that's what I have to do to find Mariah, then I will. But how can a genteel lady accomplish such a task? It would be wise to keep your true identity hidden so that you can pass among common folk and criminals. Disguise yourself with this mask and use the outlaw name Shadowhand. So we got the Shadowhand ability, shuffles playfield cards. Items move around as if possessed. A shadowy hand orchestrates the action undetected. Black Domino Mask, stealth +5, increases chance to start first in duels. The first rule of the outlaw, hide your identity. And Healing Elixir, consumable, replenish 25% of your maximum health. The apothecary has perfected a potent brew of herbs and roots for the ailing vagabond. Collect 5 stars and defeat the chapter boss. Okay, so... I'm already wearing... Okay. Use this active ability to shuffle the playfield cards. It recharges as you play. So, thing is, I'm not really sure I want to do that yet because I'm not on a combo, so... Okay. I can go for the 7, but... I think I'm gonna go 0, 1, 2. Drat. For this one, I think I am gonna do the shuffle. It paid off. So before I take that too, I'm gonna go for an unlock. I don't think there's any way for me to know. Okay. It's gonna end the combo one way or the other. Four. Okay, well that was what I was looking for, so I can do, I think, a 0, 9, should probably actually be, yeah, so 0, 9, 8, 9, and then 8. I think that works. Okay, so as always, just see what's available. Okay, so the question now is there's something behind one of these two, and I can't decide which, so 8. Well, that paid off, so 7, 8, cool. 7, and of course this is the time where I'll want to use the Charging Stallion because I might be able to, I might be able to get something fancy behind this and continue the combo, so. And sadly, no. Okay. So here I'm basically waiting. Waiting on a 4 or a 2. I have a bad habit of getting stuck behind single stacks this time around, and that I have only myself to blame for that. There we go. Now tell me why you were out so late tonight with your companion. Mariah corresponded with a secret admirer. He yearned for her teasing letters, but I was worried that her wit and passion could be misread. Then he wanted to meet. I insisted I should accompany her in case his motives were not noble. She laughed at the whole escapade and at my concerns. I don't know anything about him. We were going to the first secret meeting when we were ambushed. I see. Do you have something of Mariah's? I need to hold it. Here, my locket contains a token of her hair. Take it. Yes. I sense a connection with the sea. You must head to the shore to seek Mariah. It is also the next step towards uncovering the plot behind those letters. Very well. I will prepare for the journey. So this is a bit of a different wild card. We'll see that in a minute. I think the game will explain it though. So I've got a 1 and that's it. So found a spare card. This numbered spare card can be played at any time, but you must place a card 1 higher or lower on top to continue. So it's not exactly the same as a Joker. I'd usually want to play this if there was a 7 or a 9 that I felt would continue on a combo, which clearly I don't have right now, so we'll just carry on. Okay, so I've got a couple 3s, so we'll do... I definitely want to take this 3 out because that'll give me access to the key, so 3... 4, and it seems to me 3, 2, 1 is the better way to go, so and I don't see a good reason to use the spare, so we'll just go 1, yeah. So I'm trying to gain access to that key, perhaps a little too single-mindedly, but... So I have the spare card 7, 8. But it's not clear that that gets me anything else. I think that will be true for a while, so it's only really if I want to add 2 more to my combo. But I think I'm gonna sit on that for a little while. Nothing for that. I think in this case the 1, 2, 3 is the better call, so if only I had a 1. I could do 8, 9, 0. That seems like a good extension of the combo, so okay, and we'll do a shadow hand just to see if I can get a little bit more life out of that. The answer is no. Okay, so 3, 2, 8, 7, 6. That was still the right call. And then now I'm sort of stuck behind a big long string. Okay, good news. I'm not going to use... Ideally, I'm going to take it to the next encampment. Although I am getting a little low on cards. Okay, well I have the Joker if I get in a pinch, but turns out I don't need it. So again, I'm doing this mostly to just try and preserve as many things as I can. So we know we'll beat the chapter goals. We'll see if I can get my last 3 stars, but I don't think that will happen. Hurry, you must leave now. Patrolling soldiers are on the lookout for outlaws, and you have stolen a horse. Do not trust them, Shadowhand. Okay, for the enemy to see their stats. So, Foot Soldier has a deflection for pistols and muskets, which means I want to change my loadout. Now, I'm really tempted... I'm actually going to try something here, so I was just going to pause while I bring up a sheet. So, 6 turns, 6 damage, 1 damage per turn, but only with a 75% probability. It's 5 damage, 4 turns. Sorry, just bear with me a quick second here. So the only problem here is I haven't really quantified what the potential for a stun is. But the expected damage of the pistol is 0.93, whereas the expected damage of the blunderbuss is 1. And that's basically a damage per turn measure that I just came up with. So I think we're going to go for the rogue's knife. Well, we're definitely going to go for the rogue's knife, but I think we're going to drop the blunderbuss. And away we go. Defeat enemies faster to earn more stars. In this case, 20 turns for 3 stars. So this will be a bit of a longer one. Oh, and I get to go first. So I got nothing. Do I really want to use the Joker for it? So with the Joker, I could do 9, 8, 7, and hope that I get something else. I think in this case, I'm just going to go for a new turn. Okay, so... okay, good to know. So if I do the 6 here, I'll be getting the 7s. Yeah, I might as well. Oh, actually I won't be getting both 7s. I don't know what I was thinking about that. Okay, so the question is, do I want to use the Joker? So if I do the Joker, I can get a 2109 out of this. Yeah, why not? So I can go back to 1, but that won't unlock me anything, so... Okay, so I don't have anything else, but I can use my Charging Stallion. That didn't help. So the last big question I have, I get a 40% attack bonus, which will be good for 7 damage, but there's a 75% chance that... sorry, there's a 25% chance that this thing gets blocked. And you know what? I'm going to do the probabilities again. So 7 times 0.75, 525. So the expected damage of the knife is higher. But you know what? There is no bravery without madness. Success! Wow, I really left him a great combo! How you doing, Johnny Big Time? Alright. So... 5-6 is the better call, and I got nothing else. Oof. Well, I healed, so that's a small mercy, I suppose. And shank him! Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Telwyn. So this is just going to be a quick short one. I've actually spent more time in Shadowhand than I planned. But that's fine, because Regency Solitaire is actually rather similar. But like I said, the game does a good job. You know what, I think I'll use the heal. Okay, nothing. Life's not fair. Life is very fair now. And the process of writing lore for your D&D setting about elementally infused food. I did not know that you played D&D. Or perhaps you mentioned it before and I was simply too careless to remember, in which case, if that's true, I apologize. Okay, do I want to go for 6? Yes, I do, because 6, 5, 4... Alright, that's not bad. So the question is if I want to tempt fate again with the pistol. I think I should. And then if it comes down to it, I can stab him again. But we've got some cards to get, so... And so, Johnny, if you're confused about the mechanics of the game, it's you need to get a card that's one higher or one lower than the one that's displayed, and that'll charge your abilities as well as give you combos, which will give you damage bonuses. So I'm thinking the strategy here is 7, 8, 9, 8, but we'll see. So 7, 8, 9. By the way, guys, Johnny is selling himself short. He is a very quick study on games, and it's a lot of fun to watch him while he's learning something new, so... But that potentially happens, Jampy Dampy. I cannot get mad at RNG on that one at all. I was tempting fate on the defense for a long time, so... So basically, I did an expected damage, just a quick kind of back of the napkin sort of a calculation to suggest why I actually thought the dagger was better, but then I promptly ignored it. So if I lose this one, I'm going to be very sad. So I can definitely get the 0, but I don't think there's anything else. Well, I can use the Shadow Hand if I want. And especially given the fact that this guy's gonna inherit whatever comes after, I think I do want to mess this up a bit. I mean, it's not terrible. I do know that there's a 2 and a 3 waiting under that, so whoever unlocks that 4 is gonna have a really good day. By the way, you will notice that the AI does pass up opportunities. I don't know if it does that in hard, but it's very nice of them. Oh, okay, the card changes. I did not know that. Not much to go on here. Alright, well, I earned this next turn, so... Alright. And we will loot. So we got the Soldier's Sword, slice for 6 base damage. This is a pretty good weapon. Standard issue sword has seen a few bloody campaigns, some more honorable than others. 30 gold, and I'm not sure what the Joker gives me. Well fought, Shadow Hand. Can I offer you a new ability or enhance your disguise before you go? This hand amulet will surely prove useful. So, it's a passive ability, 1 card fewer needed to start a combo. The true origin of this ancient amulet is shrouded in mystery. Keep it handy to unleash the power of 5. Sorry for the abrupt lurk. Had a stream blasting on your phone so you could hear it while you caught a quick shower after housework. Hey! No problem at all, Eyes of Sin. So, yeah, we'll buy the item. I'm not sure what I'm going to do weapon-wise yet, and let's buy what we can. So 20% chance to resist bleeding, 1 luck attribute, and 1 guile attribute. I think I want the stats more than anything, so we'll grab the Freebooter Kerchief and the... so basically the improvements. And of course, we do have some money left over, so we will get the Bohemian bodice. Madame Mercy has refashioned this bodice with a rare material tough enough to turn a blade. All right. Oh yeah, you can definitely link something inside inside the channel. Obviously, I trust you to exercise good judgment in terms of what you're going to be linking, but obviously if you're just responding to... obviously if it's a response to something in chat, that's fine. I'm glad, Paint Bucket. So, I mean, here's the thing, like, I am not going to sit here and say this is going to blow your mind and redefine what your... I went for the stats before the pretty new blouse, you heathen. Like, I'm not going to sit down and say this is going to redefine your understanding of what a game is. But the thing that I like the most about this game is that, so it's very simple to learn, right? The basics of how do I move forward is a sentence. Pick a card higher or lower. But the complexity that they're able to wring out of it, just by looking at this alone, and how you can see that even a little encounter like with that soldier is a genuinely, like, engaging moment of like, oh crap, I might lose this thing or something like that. That is what has kept me, like, not just play... Oh, no, I don't want to exit. There we go. I don't know, to me, it's definitely, it's the sort of thing, I'll actually show you guys, I'll show you what my, as you can see, like, I've actually gone back and I've gotten the 3 stars on all of the things that I've done before. So this is one, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, this is a game that was 100% up my alley, and I regret not streaming it at the release, because it is really something that's good, and it's something I really think deserves a larger... It's not to suggest the game's like a failure or something like that, but I think it would be fair to say that it didn't meet the expectations of its developers. But to be honest with you, they wrung so much out of it that it's a game that I really wanted to take some time and to do on stream, and I know the highest likelihood of somebody picking this thing up is going to be when it is on, when it's on sale. So, the question now is, where can you get this game? I will put a link in the chat in a minute, but I seem to have lost my links that I prepared specifically for... it is a single-player game, Johnny. I would love to tell you that you can get more stuff, more out of it, but it is a solo game. So what I'm going to be linking here is the Superb Solitaire bundle. This is 2 games by Grey Alien. Now, I'm Canadian, so Shadowhand is currently 50% off, which means it is $8.74 Canadian. But it comes with Regency Solitaire if you get the bundle. The bundle in total is $9.26. So if you want, you can buy Regency Solitaire for $3.62, or for $1.50 or thereabouts. You can get. So basically, you can get Regency Solitaire for a trivial amount. But basically, Shadowhand is under $10, definitely under $10 if you are in the US. And I definitely think that this game is worth more than that. Real life isn't fun. Are you sure you want to leave? It's like, well, yes, I do want to leave, because I'm going to move on to your brother or sister. So, I really like Shadowhand, and I got a lot out of it. Obviously, I was planning on doing a short stream where I sort of showed you all a few little things about it, and I spent an hour on Shadowhand on its own. So let's say, oh, sorry, that's Johnny's question for the setting. So I think one of the things is that obviously when you look at a solitaire style game, you might be, it's like, I don't really know if I want it. So here is what I'm going to suggest in return, is I'm going to play a little bit of Regency Solitaire. And it's going to be a very similar game, so I'm going to pillage some of the time for this game from I'm going to pillage some of the time that we spent on Shadowhand. It's going to come from this one here. But I think this is a good recommendation for... this is going to be the one that I'm going to say is like, if you are intrigued by Shadowhand, but you're not convinced that it's worth the effort, I am going to recommend Regency Solitaire here. And the reason for this is that the mechanics are very similar. I would not necessarily it has the same sort of depth that that Shadowhand has, but then that is why Regency Solitaire for me is $3.62 Canadian, while Shadowhand is $8.74 So I'm going to shut up, and we will have the experience of Regency Solitaire. I really like the art for these games, by the way. England 1812.
King George III has fallen ill. His flamboyant son, the Prince of Wales, now sits upon the throne. Welcome to the Regency era. High-spirited Bella is the eldest daughter of a respectable family. She dreams of dancing in fashionable ballrooms and winning the heart of a handsome suitor. Perhaps even the sophisticated and most eligible Lord Henry Worthington. But Bella's hopes have been dashed now that her foolish brother Edward has gambled away the family fortune, leaving her facing an arranged marriage to her odious neighbor, Mr. Bleakley. Can Bella restore her family's wealth and reputation? And will her dreams come true?
Alright, so again, a little bit of a tutorial experience. I'm not quite sure how far I'm going to get on this, but let's start with Bella's home. Yep. Papa, when will we hold a ball? Enough, Bella. The extravagance of holding a ball at our humble abode is well beyond our means. My sister and I will become old maids if we don't go out into society soon. If you want for a husband, our neighbor Mr. Bleakley would make an acceptable suitor, surely. I should die of boredom if we were to marry. Husband, will you stop extolling the virtues of that man Bleakley? Dog. I declare he is the most odious gentleman in the country. Bella can do better. Margaret, dearest, calm yourself, and become acquainted with the facts, if you please. I cannot settle any fortune upon Bella, a fact that Bleakley is willing to overlook. Indeed, we should consider ourselves ourselves thankful if he makes an offer of marriage. Mama, I've received a letter. My godmother, Lady Fleetwood, has invited me to a grand ball in Bath. Finally, a dream come true. How wonderful! You'll be dancing among England's most fashionable and most eligible gentlemen. Sorry guys, just 1 second, I want to make sure that I'm actually tagged for Regency Solitaire. You must consider your wardrobe. Fetch out my old trunk. There's some finery inside from my old debutante days. Sorry, I'm just seeing what Johnny wrote. Alright, so the basics. Click on a tableau card 1 number higher or lower than the face-up foundation card at the bottom of the screen. Note, an ace can go on a king and vice versa. Alright, so... There are no more valid plays, so you need to draw a new card from the stockpile. 10. I noticed incidentally, I don't know what it is about the difference between the two games, but I miss a lot more in Regency Solitaire than I miss in Shadowhand. Alright, no 7s for me, so... I don't know if I want to do the 4 or the 6. I think I am gonna go for the king. Oop. You started a combo by playing 6 cards in a row. Combos boost your gold multiplier, so keep them going for more gold. Oop, sorry. The portrait in the background looks like Napoleon. Oh yeah, you're right. All right. No more combo for me. Oh, this is a tough call. I think I'll go for the 6. It paid off. So I can go Jack, Queen, and it's a total coin toss in terms of what's the better one. So, okay, so in this case I'm gonna go for the king because there's a possibility there's an ace, which will allow me to get the 2. So, drat. Are there different card sets from the normal one? Oh, you mean in terms of like the card art? I think there are. I mean, you can get one with like ladies in small outfits. Incidentally, you can get desktop wallpapers. I don't know how useful these are though, because it's a 4x3. I don't think there's widescreen. I haven't found it, but I haven't looked very hard either. So, find Mama's trunk. Mama's trunk is hidden under some cards. Find it to progress to the next chapter. Okay, so, and I got nothing else. So. No jacks, sadly. Ah! Told you I miss him. Now I have all this pressure of everybody watching me play this thing, so... let's just take a second and think about this. So if I do the 10, I block myself off. So then I do a queen, king, queen, and then I can decide if I want to do... Oh, I can't do the jack, so... Anyways. And I'm actually going to do something a little different. So queen, king, this is just opening up my options for new possibilities. So queen... So the hope was that there would be some kind of like a jack or something like that sitting under one of these. So my options are to go for the ace, which will unlock the trunk, or I go for the queen. Now in this case I'm going to go for the ace because I can move that up to a 2. And I think that's it. Can you go from king? No, that is not dumb. That is exactly what you can do, Johnny. Yes, question answer. Oh! And I missed the ace, because I'm a moron. Anyways, we still got the trunk. How wonderful, you found my trunk, Bella. Look inside for something you can wear to the ball. There was an exquisite fan from Mama's trunk. Jesus Christ, every single time I play a game. Okay. Here is a tip, guys. If you want to play Regency Solitaire, it is very literally at the smallest price it's ever been. If $3.62 is too much for you, if you have to play by Twitch chat, I cannot help you. You should not be paying for an internet connection. Please support the developer and don't tell me how to play the game. Even if I wanted the help, it will not get to me in time. I know I miss cards in this. I am so happy that I am going to be switching to another game. And it's not because I don't like this game, it's because I hate backseating that much. Alright. I could have done the queen and king as well, so. I think I'll go for the king just because it gives me another card, but... Well, that's what I get for my earlier sins. All right. I do actually want to get, so there is more than just the solitaire element, which I do want to show you guys. So, dear sister, I'm so delighted for you. When a young lady attends a ball, it is always the start of an adventure. Thank you, Charlotte. If only that were true. Our brother Edward, who I cannot help but love despite his being a complete greenhorn and losing all our money, leaves me little option but to resign myself for a future with Bleakley. But you must hold fast to your dreams, Bella. You've been practicing your dance steps for so long. If Lady Fortune truly smiles upon us, you could even hold a ball here someday. Bleakley need not be invited. Oh, another dog. Now that would give me great joy. We can but dream. Come, help me get my things in order for the journey. Alright, so Bella's Ballroom. Welcome to Bella's makeover project. Turn this antiquated room into a ravishing Regency ballroom and shop for the latest fashion accessories. So it is not just a game where you play solitaire, but you also get to play dress up. So an exquisite fan, perfect for flirting. Effect allows you to collect wild cards. It's free, so I'll take it. Here we can get the ballroom dress. Bella will look stunning in this classical ballroom dress. Displays how many cards are in the stockpile. Or we can get long white gloves, which are perfect for wearing to evening functions. Now, I would love this because it gives me 2 undos per hand, but as it is too expensive. So I guess we need to put on a fancy outfit. You can get other things inside this room as well, but unlike Shadowhand, which has sort of stats like an RPG, this game, sort of as you acquire material goods, you'll get some bonuses and such. So I'll do one more round just to sort of show how it goes. Look at my beautiful goddaughter Bella. It's her first ball here in Bath. I'm so proud of her. Bath truly is the place to visit this season. All the fashionable set are here, even Lord Henry Worthington. He's so handsome and generous, and owns vast estates. Yet none of the young heiresses dangling after him has won his heart. Mr. Bleakley, I had not expected to see you here. Absolutely, Johnny Big Time. You know, this is actually the most accurate depiction of what life in Britain is like. We haven't left the well, it is. I think so. It's Jake Burkett and Helen Carmichael are the designers behind this. I've probably messed up the allocation of roles for them, but I know they were in BC for a while, but I believe they are based in Britain now, so. Bella dear, I must be at your side whenever possible. Come, dance with me. I insist upon it. Then it would not be noble of me to refuse your offer, sir. But of course, I'm sure you have many willing partners at this, your first ball. But when they learn that your face is your only fortune, the earls and marquises will look elsewhere. I will still be waiting here, however. Quite so, Mr. Bleakley. Is that meant to comfort me? Do not keep me waiting too long, Bella. I am not a patient man. Melee Mage thought that was a particularly excellent comment. Okay, so find a Cubit statue and achieve a combo of 6, both of which are very unlikely if I'm playing this game, so. Alright, so I'll grab the wild cards first. Actually, probably would have been smarter for me to just keep a combo going that way, but it's too late now. So... I really only have the king. Regrettably, there are no 9s, so we'll carry on. It's an insult to Chalk's voice. Bleakley should get up the Blender voice. I guess I can technically use one of the wild cards at this point. I'm not in the depths of a combo. But if I did the 8, so do the 8, I get at least the 9 and the 10 out of it. Is it really worth throwing? Yeah, why not? I do unlock 2 cards, so. And it paid off. I don't think there's anything. Okay. I should have gone for this one instead. But turns out I get saved. Oh, do I ever get saved? If there's an 8, I will love the game forever, but there is not, so. Ah! Meh. Isaacson has a mental image of me trussed up like some Victorian dandy. It's hilarious and adorable. I'm sure I am exactly like Mr. Bleakley in real life. Would you like to try out plain card designs? Note that you can change the card designs in the options menu. Boring. I don't care if I'm gonna... I mean, I could be a loser and blame the art style on why I'm playing badly, but we'd all know that that would be a lie. I think I like the idea of opening up more possibilities, so if I do the 5, I could do a 4 and a 5 and pocket the gold off of that. Yeah, why not? Oh, that wasn't a combo though. Oh well. It's probably not worth it in retrospect, but... Ah, Jesus! I'm totally asleep at the wheel. Problem is I think what tends to happen is I just get used to flipping those things over and I don't pay attention too closely, so oh, hang on. Mr. Bleakley is a 9. He would be a 9. And Isaacson says you could pull off some Phantom of the Opera flowing dramatic cape pretty well, I think. I would make sure I wore a hood instead of a mask. I probably should have gone for the 6 to open up options, but I am impulsive. Damn it! I'm giving it up. Ooh! Disrespected. I don't think I'm gonna win. Yeah, I'm hoarding a bunch of cards. I am shaming myself by playing this game, but it is rather good, so... Well, at least I'll get the Cupid statue. I'm just trying to think if there's something fancy I can do right now. So I can do this. I think I gotta unlock the statue. Okay. I really don't have any use for some of these wild cards right now. Troll game. What an adorable cherub. He will add a touch of romance to any setting. Okay, so when I blow all of my bonus cards, I can get the combo. Surely, with 18 cards left, I will be able to pack away that too. There we go. And yeah, Telwyn, I am bad at letting my feelings be known whenever I screw up a game like this. I was waiting so long to dance with you, Bella, but it seemed every other gentleman was ahead of me. I'm honored, Lord Worthington. It's more than I ever could have hoped for. I've truly enjoyed a charming evening. I'm so very glad we met. Nothing would give me more happiness than to dance with you again. And please, do call me Henry. Fine new portraits of dear Edward and Charlotte would be a joy to behold. Alright, so we can afford the resets, or I can buy the portraits. So first of all, we'll add the Cupid statue. The Cupid statue, statuette should enhance the romantic qualities of the ballroom. Gives you the Cupid cameo power-up, which lets you remove a playable card of your choice. So I can buy the cheater gloves. I can buy Edward, turns over 15% of the face-down cards at the start of each hand. I rather like that. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely buy Edward. And this portrait of Charlotte is stunning, hence the rather large price tag. Turn over further 20% of face-down cards at the start of each hand. So as much as I'd like the gloves, I figured one of the biggest problems I have is not knowing where I'm going, and so that's where I'm going. Johnny Big Time says Lord Worthington is my porn name. Not entirely on brand for Regency Solitaire, Johnny, but anyways, guys, so you probably have a good idea of what's going on. Obviously, I spent a lot more time on Shadowhand, but one of the main reasons I'd like to recommend Regency Solitaire for you is, first of all, if you're gonna pick... Oh, Long Worthington, I'm sorry. So, one of the reasons why I'm recommending Regency Solitaire is that if you are getting Shadowhand, it seems to me that it has all of the things from... No Cultist Simulator, but friends of the developers. And incidentally, so one of the reasons why I also got, I think one of the things that is worth mentioning during the interview, Alexis actually shouted out Shadowhand specifically as a game to check out. So it's not just me that suggests. Paint Bucket makes a good point that the architecture of the Georgian era is fancy, but it also, I actually think is a really nice looking game. But yeah, there's a couple reasons. So Regency Solitaire, if you're getting Shadowhand, Regency Solitaire really is more of the things that you probably like about Shadowhand, and it costs less than $1.50 to add it in if you get that bundle. So that to me is a fairly, obvious selling point there. But you can actually do it the other way around, is like you take a look, and even if it's, you know, less than $10, you're still like, I'm really not sure if Shadowhand is my kind of thing. Like, you can say, okay, you know, it seems engaging, but I'm just not so sure about the solitaire mechanic. One way that you can sort of split the difference is you can pick up Regency Solitaire. It's less than $4 Canadian, so I suspect it's probably less than $2 if you get it. I'm sure somebody can tell you what the US amounts are. But these are, again, I like both of the games. I definitely prefer Shadowhand. I think there's a certain degree of complexity that I enjoy. And I kind of like the fact that when you're in the boss fights, it just kind of loops over the hands. That's one thing that I like. So it kind of keeps the action going. Whereas Regency Solitaire, I'm just sort of left feeling like a moron whenever I can't like clear the board. But yeah, I don't know. I think both of these are really worthy entries, and I know Regency Solitaire definitely got a nice amount of pickup, but I don't feel Shadowhand got the level of attention that it deserved. So whether you like this, or alternatively, if you're just looking for a gift to give someone, I definitely can give these some pretty warm recommendations, and I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I did. I don't know if you guys would like to see more Shadowhand on stream or Regency Solitaire, but I would definitely be willing to entertain either of them when the time comes. Please don't go. Bella needs you. Are you sure you want to leave? Yes, I'm sorry, Grey Alien. Last but not least, I am going to spend a little bit of time in Nowhere Prophet. Now, you guys have seen this game before. There we go. One of the main reasons I am doing Nowhere Prophet right now is not that it's on sale. It's actually currently just available on itch, though if you buy it on itch, when it's released, you'll get a Steam key as well. So I'll actually let the website do the talking for me. So Nowhere Prophet. Build a loyal band of followers and survive the journey across a broken world. Barely. Play Nowhere Prophet first and become part of the world and help me build a better post-apocalypse. Find loot and recruit followers to build your deck. Unlock new classes and convoys across multiple playthroughs. More than 350 cards for you to discover, a stunning and colorful art style, Indian-infused electronica soundtrack. Play and stream Nowhere Prophet before anyone else, regular game updates every month. Purchase unique rewards and become part of the game. So, it is coming out of First Access pretty soon. So if you want to get the game, it's $20 US. It's $19.99 specifically, but for all intents and purposes, $20 US. It is available for Windows, OS X, and Linux. Actually, it's now called Mac OS, but you guys know what I mean. And if you want, one of the big reasons I am recommending First Access right now is that there are some additional tiers that you can get. So if you buy the game for $30, there is the name tier. Your name, or the name that you specify, will also be shown in the credits as a first follower. Additionally, any name or nickname that you give, which may be different than the credits name, will be added to the game as a potential follower name. The face be part of the Wasteland. You get to play the game as part of First Access. Your face will be turned into a character portrait and added to the game. You will also get a high-resolution version of this picture to use as a profile picture or otherwise. Additionally, a name that you give will be assigned to the credits as a first follower, and the list of follower names as stated in the name. So this is an $80 tier. Never heard of this, but it seems up your alley from an aesthetic standpoint. Well, it's worth mentioning, guys, so I know a lot of you are here because of Cultist Simulator. This is the guy who designed the UI for Cultist Simulator, Martin Nerukar. So the tale shaped the story. You get to play the game as part of First Access. You can give us your idea for an in-game event and we will write, build, and implement it. Additionally, a name that you give will be added to the credits as a disciple, and the list of the follower names as stated in the name. See content guidelines for more information. That's the $200 tier. The gear, design some loot. You supply the idea for a piece of equipment and we will build and implement it. This includes a custom graphic for the item and its benefits when equipped. A small set of leader cards and or a status effect. Additionally, your name will be added, so on and so forth. The boss, be a legend. This is a $1,000 tier, because I know so many people here like to spend $1,000 on games, but perhaps you know somebody who would. You can supply your face, an event idea, and an item concept. See the rewards above, and we'll put them together into a unique boss encounter. This rare event can trigger the fight against a mighty boss enemy wearing your face. And if the player should defeat them, they will gain access to your custom item afterwards. And then, of course, you will be added to the game credits as a guru, and follower names as stated in the name. So, Nowhere Prophet, love the design of the background and all of that. In fact, the first time I streamed this, the designer put a Santa Claus version of this of the Prophet, which I thought was really cool. So I do intend, before First Access is over, to do a proper sit down and playthrough of this. I don't know how much more time I have left, because I definitely spent more time in Shadowhand than I was planning. But let's do a run in Nowhere Prophet. We'll see. For those of you who saw me play this before, it'll be a chance to see what's been added to the game. I haven't gotten any better at it, by the way. And for those of you who had never seen it before, it's a chance to see a really cool indie, which is going to be coming out of First Access and definitely needs your support in the form of purchases, wish lists, or just generally getting the word out there. Alright, so I've got multiple convoys now. So we've got the Outcasts, the Nomads. Let's do uncover connections, neighboring nodes, start with hope, reduce the cost for food and shops, or additional follower when resting, reduce the cost for followers. I think we'll do this. They also added difficulty levels, but I'm too much of a I'm too stubborn to go below normal. And I did not know there were different classes. Oh, okay, so the Firebrand, the Echo, and the Banshee. So the Firebrand, a capable commander with a forceful personality and an innate sense for other people's emotions and thoughts. This allows the Firebrand to inspire or intimidate them with a glance. The Echo... Oh, okay, so in this case we've not unlocked those yet. And yes, I will have to accept that I lose the save that I was playing before. So, the best way I can describe this is it's a little bit of FTL, it's a little bit of Hearthstone, and I'm trying to think of a good strategy game to compare. But I think honestly, showing you the combat will tell you what we're looking for. So. A star fell from the heavens. In whispered words coming from the dark night sky, it told me where it would land. It told me weeks to cross through Soma's wilderness, avoiding famished raiders and raving mad machines turned hostile by the crash. Most of my food and water was gone by the time I fully laid eyes on it. It looked unassuming, a dull gray sphere, scorched and cracked, but still brimming with energy. Hissing with heat, the sand around it had turned into glass. I'd spoken to machines before and made them do my bidding, but none had been this powerful, this keen. Yet it was dying. With flickering blue light, it painted a mandala of reverence into the dusty air. In this fractal sigil, I could see glimpses of ancient knowledge from before the crash, and then the fallen star spoke to me. This world lost my care, safety and knowledge, in the crypt to help all you lead them. I could see a key and a map etched in hard light. I knew now how to find and open this crypt, a place only mentioned in rumors and spoken of in legends. Within it lay unlimited powers, all our ancient knowledge, and the hope for a better world. As the light slowly subsided, I could hear words of prayer and mantras spoken all around me. Others must have seen the trail of fire, heard the star's whispers, and followed it here too. Their eager faces told me that they had heard the machine speak to me. The prophet, they chanted. And so I gained my followers, and together we would find the crypt. And away we go. So, the way that this game works is you will plot your path. it'll tell you, so in this case, this would be a potential teacher. The drawback here is that the travel cost is higher. If you go through the thick paths, it's an easier path. If it's the thin paths, it's a harder one. So the question here is, if I'm going to commit to the thick path, is it going to be worth missing out on the opportunities, or am I willing to endure the higher costs to visit some of the special things that are here? So there's a shrine, which is tempting, but it means I'm going to basically commit myself to 1, 2, 3, 4 difficult tiles and then a boss fight. Whereas here, there's a mineral spring, which gives me an opportunity to heal before a relatively difficult fight. So I think we're going to go down the easier path. The road ahead seemed blocked by a motley crew of armed women and men. Even their children were carrying spears, bows, and handguns. There were no flags of any factions or religious groups. It seemed to be a group of heavily armed settlers. An older woman with a rifle, her face painted with black and white mineral colors, stepped forward to address us. Our lands won't suffer the foolishness and evil doings of strangers anymore. Turn around or die. Defy them. They seemed clearly unimpressed by our menacing attitude and gave the signal to open fire on the convoy. Alright, so I could go over the convoy deck and the leader deck, but it's probably better that I just show you how this works, so... Keep in mind, I am garbage at these kinds of games, so... now it's worth noting that you start with three resources, so in this case I've got a fairly straightforward path of, you know, a wanderer, a shifty scavenger next turn, an enforcer afterwards, and then of course whatever else comes up. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to axe the static charge in the neural shiv and redraw to see what comes up. Okay, so quick shot's not bad. I'm not going to use it on the round, but I'm not going to cry about missing it either. So let's drop the wanderer, and we will call it a day. Alright, so the overwhelming bruiser, which will cause me a little bit of pain. So let's think a little bit. I can dedicate all of my my resources towards taking this guy out, or I can yeah, I mean, it doesn't make me feel good to do this, but it's a heck of a lot better than just eating the damage and losing this guy right away. So the Shiram Acolyte shielded. Looks like I lost this guy anyway. Unit cannot be targeted by enemy leader cards. Okay, good to know. So I got my 5. Well, I don't need to worry too much about the enforcer damaging neighboring tiles, so we'll drop him here. Alright, so that's going to be enough to take that out. Okay, so I can drop a blast, but that'll only deal with this particular guy here. Is there anything smarter that I can do? Well, first thing I'll do is I'll drop the Hermit, because that'll give me some more options with my leader cards. So the question now is, do I want to do the blast to get rid of this guy, or do I want to... Yeah, it's a weak move, but... in this case, I'll put down the Scavenger. Alright, have a good one, Melee Mage. Paint Bucket asks, you don't know if this is accurate, but it kind of reminds you of Mad Max crossed with the Banner Saga purely from the way it looks. I mean, aesthetically and setting-wise, I think you're on the right track. Mechanically, I haven't played the Mad Max game, so I don't know how they compare. I probably should just put down the Raider, but I didn't want to use all my items. Yeah, I'm not doing really well on this. So I'm definitely thinking I want to drop the blast here. That'll take care of these two, and I think this guy, barrier, next time this unit would take damage, remove the barrier instead. Yeah, so that doesn't do a whole lot for me, but in this case... Put down a raider, and really at this point I just decide how I want to use them. I think I'll just punch him in the face. Jesus. So worth mentioning, the reason why that target needed to move down here was you can't, like, you can get blocked, so this guy won't be able to attack unless he has a specific ability. But in this case, we can do a easy enough ending. And we gain vegetables and plant fibers. So I probably should have explained this a little bit earlier, but we'll go through this. We'll go through this event first. With the last of our settlers fallen or escaped, there was nothing blocking our path now. When we removed their barricades, we could see their small hamlet at a nearby clearing. We'll approach the settlement. We strode with strict determination into the settlement. A few settlers still opposed us with primitive weapons, but we swatted them away like flies. We can loot the houses, torch the settlement, or leave. We'll loot. This wasn't a rich dwelling, but we went into their homes and took whatever valuables we could find, so we gained hides and furs, bones, and fine fabric. Yeah, you know what? We'll be a mean prophet, so torch the settlement. We had to make an example of those who opposed us, so we put their houses to the torch and threw the remaining settlers into the flames. Okay, so, followers, this is basically your deck, as far as, like, your resources and, like, your units are concerned. You also have the leader deck, which are your abilities. Batteries are basically the currency in this world. So sometimes you'll get items, but you need to trade to turn those items into batteries, which means you need to make some decisions in terms of, like, what you give up. So it's not just enough that you find valuables, you actually need to find valuables and a place to sell them. Food, so this is something that will allow you to heal as well as recruit followers. If you don't have food, bad things happen. And finally, hope, slowly reduced while traveling through special events. Share comfort items with your convoy to improve, and I believe if you get hope 0, that is a loss. So. We came upon a large wreck of a modified transporter that was sitting right in the road. The vehicle looked in good condition and wasn't gutted yet. Who would leave a treasure like that just sitting next to the road? Parashu mumbled. Investigate. The moment we climbed down from our vehicles, we were fired upon. We dove for cover immediately, but received a few scratches nevertheless. So -2. Your health is constant, so if you're, like, so unlike, like if you play Hearthstone, you're going to get your health back each time you play the game. That is not true of this one. Each encounter that you run into. So you can't just use you can't use health as a resource in your fights constantly. If your first fight takes you down to 1 health, you're probably not going to make it to the end of the level. Bandit boss, level 2 enemy. It takes a certain skill and ruthlessness to keep a ragtag band of raiders working together. Okay, I'm gonna flip out the well... I'm feeling lucky. I probably should have reset that static charge though, so... Damn it. So originally I was going to put the Forbidden Strength on him, but he's not going to survive after this guy, so... Life is just another resource. Do you play much black? Yes. Okay. So let's think a bit about... Well, this is easy. So vegetables and plant fibers were a reward. The vehicle itself was empty, but there was a great deal of spare parts that we could harvest from the engines. So we gained batteries and machine parts. Now notice the batteries augmented the amount straight away. Now you'll notice there was that guy with that red slash across. The way that that winds up working, I probably still say Regency Solitaire, don't I? I'm so sorry, guys. So it's not costless to sacrifice a unit as well. If a unit has been wounded, they will have lower health than the first time that you deployed them. And if they die a second time, they're gone for good. You lose them from your deck. So one of the things that's interesting about this game is that you do still need to make the tough choices in terms of like what you put in the way from keeping the enemy from achieving their goals. But the drawback is that it can have very permanent effects on your hand. And that's, I think, one of the areas that I need to improve on the most in this game, which is the, I'm a little too hesitant to give things up. Right, with the last rays of the setting sun, we arrived at a conglomerate of old wagons that were surrounded by piles and bottles of empty plastic barrels. Smoke was rising from one of the wagons that sported an array of chimneys. A seedy-looking old man with a bottle in his hand greeted us with a toothless smile, offering us his self-made spirits. So, in this case, I think we will purchase the liquor. We decided to lift the mood of the caravan by purchasing some of the man's self-made alcohol. For a handful of batteries, we received a crate with bottles with the milky and reeking liquid. We made camp later in the day. We passed around a few bottles. Jesus. When we woke up in the old morning, Shirens and Sonia were hardly able to walk. The old man was no way to be found. Cursing our foolishness, we moved on from the damned distillery. We came upon a group of traders that were traveling into the opposite direction. Their guards gave us a cautious look, but the merchants themselves greeted us cordially and asked if we required any wares. So I'll do the trade. They just recently made a tour the merchants opened the sideboards of one wagon and showed us their goods. They just recently made a tour past some hydroponic farms and would trade fresh vegetables and fruits against batteries. And in this case, I think I'm going to go for it because I'm going to need to do a bunch of healing. So the followers would be glad to finally eat something fresh. We thanked the merchants and exchanged a bag of batteries for a large crate of food. Deep in a rocky canyon, we found the mineral springs. The brackish bubbling water and the strong stench might be the main reason why they were still mostly untouched. Only a single rope tied to a tree stump led down to the springs. So here, I get to heal the leader and heal the followers. Now, I've only taken 2 damage, so it's sort of wasteful to spend 5 to heal the leader, but in this case, let's clear out my, my wounded. Alright, I think I'm going to keep this one wounded just because I don't want to go crazy. But let's enter the market. And in terms of sales, let's sell the bones. Well, basically I'm just going to sell everything that, that isn't a consumable. And how am I doing for batteries? I think I'm going to hold off on that. Have I played the Banner Saga? If not, would you ever consider streaming it? I have played a little bit of it. I haven't played it on stream. I would consider doing it, but I'm not quite sure where I would fit it in the schedule. I enjoyed it well enough, but it didn't floor me relative to XCOM, and I haven't finished XCOM 2. So the biggest thing is, like, when I think of a game like the Banner Saga, as good as the game may be, one big thing that I've been holding back on stream is XCOM 2, and I know there's a lot of people who want to see me do XCOM 2. So the drawback is that if I play a game like the Banner Saga that takes up that XCOM spot, I know it's not always the best trade-off. So I'll probably do it at some point, but I don't know. I don't quite know when. We'll see. All right. Usually when I go after these guys, I get clobbered. So A cloud in the distance indicated a larger convoy moving in our direction. First we saw the vanguard, a group of heavily armed blue-skinned leper mercs, and then the main caravan, a large assembly of wagons, some of them carrying wares, others slaves in cages. We were greeted by their leader, a decadent merchant dressed in an expensive garment that rode on the sprinkling white Javia mount to which 3 nude slaves were chained. Converse. "This child of yours," the slaver said in a high-pitched voice, pointing at Danya. "It looks most exquisite. It would fit very well into our garden. Would you sell it to us? We are willing to pay you most handsomely." Refuse. We shook our heads, maintaining a stony expression. Some of ours were itching to make the slaver pay for this obscene officer, but the heavily armed mercs didn't allow for the response that it called for. Yeah, you see exactly the dilemma, Paint Bucket. It's like, it's not just that I consider, there's lots of good games out there that I want to play, but I always have to consider the game on stream in relation to what I'm giving up to stream instead. Because I've got at least probably 3 big surprises for the stream that I want to drop on people at some point. By the way, did you know my birthday's coming up? So there might be something special happening for that. A burst of gunfire interrupted our peaceful journey. Bullets blazed past our heads, so we grabbed whatever was to hand to kill the enemy and rushed at them to return the favor. Okay, it's a pretty decent starting hand. I really don't like static charge, and I'm not going to use Neural Shiv right away, so I'm going to redo those. And in this case, I'm going to go for something a little riskier, and we'll do the Wild Hand. That'll give me 2 creatures, and I might as well get the Spare Convoy card. Cool. July 15th, Johnny. Good time? Of course, this is the one place I didn't want the beast to be spawned. Now, I'm curious if the taunt still applies because they're behind... Jesus! Okay, I'm gonna drop a scout and I'm gonna give Forbidden Strength to this unit. So I'm hoping that, yeah, so because they're behind the block, they their taunt doesn't count. July 2nd, oh man, you're born the day after Canada Day. Johnny, could you please say in chat what you would like for your birthday so that everybody in chat can take notes and be sure to spoil you accordingly? Okay, so I'm gonna start by smacking that guy. Now I can either put down a Bleak Rider. Actually, I'm gonna do this a little different. Ooh, that paid off handsomely. So I'm just going to be a jerk and say I don't want to deal with that problem. And we'll go straight for the face. If the enemy has a unit with taunt, gain +2/0 and overwhelming, so that's going to be a problem if I drop the Devoted Guard. But I believe we can take him out because we've got 9 damage. So I don't know what was going on with this unit. Shenzhen IO would be a good present for John. Well, I already recommended Opus Magnum to him. Alright, so we got 10 experience for that. I haven't really explained what experience does, but we'll have that come up in a minute. We got some batteries, meat, and a synth gas bomb. Now these items are pretty cool. So, dead bodies of our enemies littered the area. So we'll enter camp. And here... So I can level up my character, charge yourself, and learn a new card. You can pick only one of the available options, so choose the right card for your deck. Now, it's going to cost me batteries, but of course I got 9 batteries for that fight, so that's pretty free. And in this case, so first of all, we start by turning over the card. Now, you don't have to learn it. So we've got Coordinated Fire, we've got Merciless, and we've got Blind Rage. So... this will convert all of my followers into 2 damage to everyone, or I can go for a really concentrated heavy hit. I've never used Coordinated Fire before, so I'm actually going to add that to my deck and see if I can make something happen. So we'll return to the Prophet. I actually have another level, so we'll do that again. Both leaders draw 3 convoy cards. I think we can go for Blind Rage instead. And then finally for equipment, I can add the Synth Gas Bomb. So what this does is, just like I got extra cards for the leader deck, I can also potentially get the Rock Venom and the Choking Fog. And then at the start of the combat, reduce your momentum maximum by 1. What? Oh. So Rock Venom... I'm not sure I want to equip this. If you don't see him in chat or on his own stream, if you guys are not following Johnny big time, he's a very, very, very strong recommendation. Oops. Let's carry on to the crossroads. We were just setting up camp when shots were fired in our direction. We dove for cover, yelling orders over the gunfire. Time to fight. Whipped into a frenzy by fanatic religious fervor and ascetic practices, a battle group led by a fanatic can be almost like a raging storm. Can't have no other prophets coming in on my territory. Alright, so we'll spike the 2 level 6 ones. I'm pretty okay with... Actually, you know what? We'll skip on the healer. It's just a little early to get that. Alright, well, that's a bit of a shame. So the question is whether or not it's worth it for me to drop the static charge. It's basically 1 damage to each of us. I think I will. So the Hermit gives me this, and I think I'll hold off on getting rid of the blast. I can see some times where I would want to use it. Alright, so when one of your followers takes damage, gain 1 armor. And it's taunt. I don't have a lot of other options, so... Okay, so they've got a bunch of guys on the table. If I put down the warrior monk, probably what happens is it's a quick shot and they need one of their guys to take him out. I'm gonna do something a little ballsy. So what I'm hoping this accomplishes is it forces them to give up 2 guys to take out the monk. Yeah. That was very unlikely that that was gonna work, but I was really hopeful. Okay. Well, I still need to protect myself, so there goes another warrior monk, and same story. merciless. Oh, Jesus. I don't think this is gonna end well for me. I think I'm just gonna throw some bodies on the table. Oh, I screwed up. I don't know what I was thinking with some of those numbers. Is there anything I want to flip around? Blind, actually, you know what? Blind Rage might save me. We'll see what happens. I have only myself to blame for this. Okay, let's start with a Blind Rage. There we go. Dead bodies of our enemies littered the area. Even from afar, we could hear the unsettling yet typical sound of plasma weapons. Close to the road, the settlement was under attack by a small swarm of rusters. The humans had barricaded themselves in, but had no chance against the high-energy beam weapons. There was no way for us to sneak past without drawing attention to ourselves, so we'll attack them, despite the fact that I'm probably not going to survive. And I'm going to skip out the Warrior Monk because I probably can't afford to... I mean, taunt people are not great. To be in a wounded position, so we'll confirm. And I'll drop a scout, and I'll put the Wanderer down. I can get the Convoy card next turn. Okay, I'm gonna do the Devoted Guard because that gives 2 taunts. Convoy card just because that'll use up my resources, and then I'm actually just gonna go straight for the face because I believe we should have enough to seal the deal next turn. I think we still win though. So yeah, what it should have done, of course, would be put it down here, but it's a moot point because I do the aim shot. Shenzhen-IO, all the Zachtronics games are pretty interesting. So the big ones that they've made are Space Chem, I think it's Space Chem TIS 100, Shenzhen-IO, and Opus Magnum. There's a couple of side projects they did. So there was Shenzhen Solitaire, which is is it really 250? Wow, I think I paid more. But yeah, so the Solitaire game came out of Shenzhen-IO, and I believe they have a turn-based tactics game, or not tactics, maybe it's a card game? Ironclad Tactics. Anyways, I haven't played it, so I can't say. But they're definitely they're very much a you have to like that sort of thing kind of game, but like they are the games to play if you like that sort of thing. Alright, when the last of the machines was obliterated, we turned to the settlement. Wounded but grim faces stared back at us, unsure what to expect. Ask for help. We lowered our weapons and signaled that it was safe out here. Cautiously, they came out of their cover. For our efforts, we received not only some valuables that they could spare, but they also treated the wounds we received while defending them. So we gained Altruist, and I am up 2 health. Alright. On to the trading post. We were just setting up the camp when a small group of monks approached our perimeter with a heavily burdened pack of animals and an escort of armed guards. The ornamentation on their robes was fashioned after the patterns found in rusters and other intelligent machines, clearly followers of the machine. Curious to meet you, the smiling elderly machinist said. Can we sit with you? Maybe have something to share. Maybe we have something to share or trade. so we'll invite them. We allowed them into our camp. As they sat down, we made them welcome and shared our humble meal with them. We spoke, sharing stories of the crash and learning from each other. After everyone had eaten and the conversation slowly grew quiet, the priestess spoke again in her quiet voice. Let us pay you thanks for the food you served us. A few batteries, maybe? Well, apparently not batteries, but we did get Scholar. Let's see what happens when we decline. You are good people, and there's few of that on this road, fewer even with the blood of operators in their veins. She produced a small item from her robe and said, You may decline our batteries, but I insist that you take this. And we gave the simple sleeve. Okay. The small trading town has been built next to the river. Unfortunately, it has dried out, cutting the place off from the river commerce. The few people that remained were eager to trade trinkets and scraps for a good price. So I can purchase valuables for 10 food. I've got enough food for that, so... Traders handed some valuables in exchange for some of our food. I'm probably not... Yeah, it's probably not a good trade, but... Alright, we'll rest. So first thing I'm going to do is heal up some of the followers. I'm going to go to the leader deck, and I will take... So the simple sleeve will give me additional starting armor, which is good. And then the machinist robes, again, will also give me starting armor, and in this case it's permanent positive safeguard. When a friendly unit is killed during the enemy's turn, gain 1 armor. So I will be much more difficult to kill, which is particularly helpful at a time that I don't have a lot of health. So let's start first by selling lumber, machine parts, valuable metals, and I think I am going to ditch the synth gas bomb. I definitely want to keep the fine fabrics. I'll buy veggies. That'll be 28 batteries apparently. 36 for... Screw it, I'll go for it. And we'll add the natural dyes too, just to make sure that the hope's up. Okay, I think we are good to go. We'll see whether or not we survive this encounter. The Cannibal Sanctum. Our journey was abruptly halted by the yelled warnings of our outriders. We reached for our weapons, then the enemies were upon us. Okay, I think I know how I'm going to handle this. So I'll start with the static charge and then drop the wild hand. That's just because I've got the armor to absorb that. Alright, so now, for 4 actions, let me think about what I can do. So the Bandit Sapper, I can do 2 damage to the enemy leader, and then I can get another 6 added from the Zealous Fervor. Or I can play it safe, I can absorb the damage from 1. Let me think a little bit about this. So I can do 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Oh, I totally misread that. Alright, my bad. I thought I had more momentum for some reason. That was quite the blunder. Deal 4 damage to enemy leader. If target has armor, remove all armor instead. Alright, so if I can, I really... ooh. So, drop the Bandit Sapper. Oh, damn it, I forgot to wait, I just killed myself. I was not paying attention. Anyway, that actually works reasonably well, because I've been casting for 2 hours. I was originally going to do this for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So, with our prophet fallen in combat, we were at the mercy of our attackers. They wreaked havoc among the convoy, taking what they wanted, while the followers dispersed to escape certain death. A few regrouped and decided to march on, but without the vision and power of the prophet, there was little hope. It wasn't long before the last perished or abandoned the path. So, I do need to apologize for the play there, because I feel like I didn't do a very good job of showing you why this game is interesting. I kind of went through the motions on that one, and I didn't explain my reasoning that well. But I also feel like this is the game that sort of streams the best and requires the least explanation in terms of why it's interesting. So in terms of mechanics, if you liked FTL, if you like card games like Hearthstone and things like that, it's definitely that. But what I do enjoy is it's more than just FTL meets Hearthstone. I think the fact that there's the persistence between battles is an interesting idea. I like the idea of adding new equipment and being able to flip out different followers and things like that. I actually think that the persistence inside the game, the fact that it's more than just sort of that roguelike element in terms of the fact that you get more convoys as you keep playing, but the fact that the persistence between battles actually will affect your decisions is one of the things that keeps me coming back to this game. This is a pretty pathetic playthrough, to be honest. This was like what I did the first time I played this game, but, you know, my bad. I don't think you guys came here for quality. So, I mean, again, if you guys don't really like card games, then I'm not going to be able to convince you on this one, but it is one that I strongly encourage you to check out, because it's definitely one of these examples of like, hey, there's a reason why, you know, Itch is a cool website and why indie games are worth checking out. And the art style is great for this one. Like, it's clearly, you know, great music, great visual style, coming out of First Access. And again, if you guys want to pick it up now, if you do buy it on Itch, there will be a Steam code that you get when it comes out. You can actually wishlist it on Steam right now, but one of the things I really wanted to do with this, because we are currently in a sales season, is to let you guys know where you can buy and support this stuff right now. So I apologize for not doing more on Nowhere Prophet. My timing did get a little screwed up. But the biggest thing is that I will definitely be doing more Nowhere Prophet in the future, so I also don't feel bad leaving you with just a bit of a taste. But as a reminder, if you guys came in at the back half of this, the other games that we were doing were Shadowhand and Regency Solitaire. Again, another great pair of games. The best that I can say, so Shadowhand is the most interesting of those two, because it takes those solitaire mechanics that you saw in Regency Solitaire and turns it into sort of like an RPG strategy game. And that was really rewarding to play, and there's a lot of depth that they get out of that, which really made it worthwhile for me. The reason why I put that bundle down, it's twofold, which is number one, if you like the mechanics of Shadowhand, you'll like Regency Solitaire. So, and to get it for less than $1.50 Canadian, you know, that's a pretty good deal. But you can do it the other way around, which is if you don't think Shadowhand, if you're on the fence about it, or if you don't think that if you think maybe it's not 100% your kind of thing, you're intrigued but you don't quite want to put the full amount down, if you get Regency Solitaire, it is definitely a very low-cost game. It's a good game, and it's a nice little way that you can do the trial in terms of saying, yeah, you know what, I dig this. Like, I kind of get this idea of progressing through a solitaire-style game and getting power-ups through the form of these added things. And just know that there's more in Shadowhand and there's greater depth for it. But I like both. I was very happy to get the bundle. And last but not least, Nowhere Prophet, not on sale, because it isn't even out yet. Well, it's out, but it's out on itch.io. If you want to buy the base game, $19.99 US. But do remember, First Access is closing at the end of the month. You only have a few more days where you can get one of the additional tiers. They're available at that website. You just scroll down, and you can do everything from having your name in the game, your image in the game. If you want, you can make yourself a boss if you want to spend $1,000. But this is also another really great game. So, like I said, 3 card games, very different card games, but ones that I hope you guys enjoy. I'd love it if you guys go out, spread the word, and say how good you think it is. And yeah, as I'm always fond of saying, these things don't. I mean, I'm lucky that these developers are in a position to be able to make these games, and that they're pursuing this dream of making a game and, you know, bringing it to the world, letting people experience it. But it is important to remember, like, you know, it's not a work of charity on their part, and I'm not asking you to give charity. This is very much a case of saying, it's like, this is a game that I like and I'd like to see more of them, and by paying for these games, whether they're on sale or whether they're at full price, you are doing your part to make sure that they get out there. If you're not in a position to pick up the game, that's fine. You can support them through things like wishlisting it, letting people know that you want it, through letting other people who might enjoy it pick it up. But I'm trying to do my little bit, because of course I got a key from Martin from this one. I probably should have disclosed that ahead of time. So this is one where he reached out after I did a Cultist Simulator stream. I was really happy, because I probably would have checked out this game, but I might have done it like Shadowhand, which was picking it up long after the fact, where now I'm sort of able to share it with you guys when it's still in first access. But yeah, these are good and interesting games, and if you think they're good and interesting, I would encourage you to pick them up and to let people know about them, because it's sometimes hard to bring people's attention to these kinds of things. And of course, if they're not your sort of thing, you know, that's fine too. Obviously, I don't want people to be spending money on things they don't enjoy, but I don't know. I've definitely gotten some quality time in all of these titles, and I hope you guys too. So, with that in mind, though, we're gonna call it a night. And yeah, I know you really like Nowhere Prophets, and it's actually one of the reasons I've wanted to go back to it for a while. So, oh, you know what? There's another on this card theme. There's another really good one called Slay the Spire, and this is Ponce playing it. So we're gonna raid Ponce. He's a guy I met in Vancouver, normally a League of Legends streamer, but he hasn't done that for a while. And this is a great one. You will get a 4th card game tonight with Slay the Spire. I hope you guys enjoy it. Do stick around and drop that raid message inside, because he's a great guy. He's a partnered streamer, and I haven't actually been able to see a lot of Slay the Spire, so I'm looking forward to checking this out. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you. We'll see you tomorrow for probably some more Assassin's Creed Unity, but we'll see what's going on. And happy pre-birthday to the buttery man Crumpet himself.
Hey, Mr. Chalk. Thank you very much for the host, as always. Appreciate that. Just having a quiet rounding out the evening with some card games. I was playing Dragon Ball earlier, but figured we'd kind of relax and kind of slowly wind the stream down with a card game. So, appreciate the host. The old streamer. Yeah, those were dark times, but thank you very much once again for that host. I appreciate that. So like I said, it's pretty, you know, kind of a lax evening here, where we're just kind of playing whatever. But for those of you guys who have been kind enough to stick around, which means it's a good quality core audience here. Make sure you go and follow Mr. Chalk there. What were you playing today, by the way? I was doing my Dragon Ball fighting game thing today, so unfortunately I wasn't able to check out what you were doing. But hopefully you had fun with things on your end. Three games: Shadowland, Regency, or no, Shadowland, or Shadowhand, Regency Solitaire, and Nowhere Prophet. I don't know what any of those are, unless... Was the first one a card game? I've seen the name, at least, of Shadowhand. Oh, that works. Let's get rid of, kind of want all of these things. Okay, now we burn this, and I can get whatever I want. How much mana do I have to work with? So that would be 3. I could double tap into... How much damage is that? Wish I could still see the cards in my hand here. Draw a whole bunch of... No. Agency Solitaire is... Is it like actually solid? Well, I guess I gotta read the description here. Experience romantic Regency England in this sumptuous solitaire game. Play your cards right as you tour historic London, Brighton and Bath, and help Bella create a dazzling ballroom. Unlock gameplay features with your makeover project and improve Bella's chances of finding true love. That's interesting game we're playing. And yeah, Shadowhand I've at least seen before. Profit was roguelike deck building. So you were doing like a so it's kind of like a card game day for you. Well, I mean, I'm doing card games here, so, or a card game, so I guess the theme fits. Thanks for sending your folks. Hopefully they enjoyed this one. Have you played Slay the Spire? Also, hello Ash, how you doing? Good to see you here again. Thanks for joining us once again. Anyway, I should probably do something, shouldn't I? Do I have any armor? I don't. You know what? Screw it. Let's... No. I can kill with double tap, I'm pretty sure. No, I can't. Because I'm terrible at this game. Damn it. We're just gonna eat a bit of damage because I just screwed that up. Never mind, I'm the best player ever. Ignore my previous statement. So I can go, well, we're definitely using that, regardless of what it is. Let's see what we draw. War cry, okay. A little weird. So I could play something for free. The problem is... Okay, let's at least see how this works. I've never actually used this card, so it means I can do this. And then I can create copies of that. Oh, I also buff the damage, so I guess that's fine, but it sucks that I'm dealing so much damage. It's such overkill. Oh, that's the point, right, because it's permanent. That's the difference between the other thing. Okay, I see. And so in my deck it's useless. You have not played it, okay. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this thing. Okay, let's gain 2 strength. We're going to headbutt and put something to the top of our deck, and then I'll be able to draw it. So let's bring back the upgraded Perfect Strike, most likely. I think that's the best bet. No. And then we play Shrug It Off for armor. And then a Perfect Strike you. And there we go. Ow. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Nine versus that. Okay. That won't kill. Hopefully this guy... Oh my god. Oh, holy crap. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm taking so much damage here. Okay, I gotta stop taking damage. Okay, I don't need that card. Body Slam, Heavy Blade. Nope, don't want any of those. I'm playing this very poorly right now. So anyone who's never seen this game before, don't play the game like I'm playing it right now. I'm about to do something really stupid that's going to get me killed. Because screw it. Oh crap, it's into a boss too. What am I doing? I might actually die here.